What up, doe? What up, doe? What up, doe with my peeps? Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Cross Watcher. Anybody that has Taurus in their chart. All right. My ride and dies. Mwah. My new subscribers. Mwah. Anybody that has clicked here for the first time, welcome. I'm Trinity, all about the healing. Look at here. All right, so hope you, I know you're shining bright. I'm fully persuaded that you're shining bright. To everything is all right. And that's all I'm going to say. You're valuable, you're wanted, you're appointed, you are anointed. You are valuable. All right? So with that being said, about to get into it. Because I don't even know what I'm going to say. Don't know what's going to come out my mouth. However, previous to clicking on the camera, I could have had a whole reading. You know, I do that sometimes. Just talking to God. The conversations that I have, just talking to God. Because I'm asking God questions concerning you. Your well-being. What you need to know. What you need to do. So today God said no cards. No distractions. That's why I don't know what I'm going to say. God said no cards, no distractions. Want your full attention. So, for those of you that did not pray, you need to get yourself together. Go ahead and pause the video and pray and focus. Get your focus together. Get your discernment together. Get your, get everything together. Align with God, because this is going to be important. It's going to be important. All right? Okay, God. So, I'm just going to speak until God takes over and do and say whatever. But first of all, what I was getting was that I've been reading the comments and I've been getting with God, like I just said, speaking to God about the collective. Speaking to God about the energy, the messages, and all God keep telling me is that first thing is that the collective needs to change their mindset about healing. When I was doing the messages and they kept coming out with the timeline jumper, it was accepted. But I could see it's either two things. The views went down, and it's either two things. The collective believed that they were healed and that this didn't resonate. They were already healed and this was over with, and this reading don't have anything to do with them. Or YouTube or the algorithm did not disperse the videos out. But let me give you some clarity about this thing. As I sat with God today, When I say deep, it's deep. I know that healing is not a one-time thing. I understand that healing is, we're constantly healing. We're constantly evolving. Even those old relationships, even those old people, even those old mindsets, we're constantly healing. We constantly are evolving from them. So we're not in the same place, but we can wake up, because each day is a new day. Each day is an opportunity for good, bad, or ugly. It's an opportunity where healing, you will have to, something can happen at any time and you will have to heal from that. Healing is ever evolving, because we get up day to day and anything can happen. Any trauma, any betrayal, anything can happen to us on any day. That means any day, any month, any hour, any week, any year. Everything could be fine one day, but then next week, all hell breaks loose. And then you have to heal. You have to get your mind right. You have to get your energy right. Healing is something we all have to confront. You can't just say that you healed and everything is over and you done with that. And even from the past, you good to go, everything's good, you moving, you hot and popping, you ain't thinking about that person, and then something happens where you get triggered, and then all those emotions come right on back. And if you are not in a place where you understand that you're always healed, that you always have healing to do, if you're not at a place where you always are willing to sit down and be honest with yourself about your feelings and emotions, when you get triggered and you just you just don't do anything about it, you don't take any action, you don't be honest, you don't look at it, you don't sit down and address it and acknowledge it, then before long, that one trigger can set you back. God is saying, what God was expressing to me as the collective, we as the collective, there's no longer that we can just take healing for granted and just sit and say, oh, I'm healed, I did the work, and that's it. No, we can't do that no more. Every opportunity, everything that comes in our knowledge, comes in with knowledge and wisdom and clarity, every clarity that we get, everything, new information that we get, we have to sit with ourselves and be mindful and be honest about how we're feeling about it. Acknowledgement means understanding our feelings, our emotions, and taking action about how we feel. The collective as a whole, yeah, you get in the comments and yes, thank you, I'm healing. And healing is a process. But that's for some of you. Some of you are not even acknowledging your feelings. You're going off of the healing that you healed yesterday. You going off the feelings and emotions that you dealt with years ago. But this person is jumping in every aspect of your life trying to come at you. And you're not acknowledging any of it. You're just going off of, I'm healed from that person. I blocked them. I blocked them. And so, no. Your ancestors, your angels, the Most High God blocked them. They set those boundaries. You did the work to get to where you are, but what are you doing now? What actions are you taking now? God saying, without His hand, without your angels around, without those boundaries, you'll be all messed up again. Because you're not doing anything. You're not taking further steps. I give you the information. I give you the clarity. I give you the tools. What are you doing with them? And it's because you're not feeling, it's not touching you. A lot of this is not touching you because God is God's grace and mercy. And you did the work and you've gotten further than anybody in your bloodline. You have the potential to put a stop and put an end to this permanently. But God is saying it's some type of pride. Some type of, you're not humble. Because God's hand is on you. And you feel like, since nothing is touching you, and since nothing is, boundaries are set, that you're good. But God says, no ma'am, no sir. If I took my hand off of you, what work would be able to sustain you? What work have you done since last year, since 5 years ago? What work have you done to sustain your healing process? If I was to take my hand off, if God was to take His hand, God was to take her hand off of you, what work? Some of you don't even pray. You don't fast. What work have you done to sustain your healing? And God is bringing this up because this what I'm speaking to you now is easy. How He was speaking to me, it was raw. I almost did not post today. But of course I got to be obedient. But God is saying it's some type of pride. It's not humble. It's as if because you, and I'm speaking to whoever this resonates, you have to be honest. Whoever you are, you have to be honest. Because this ain't me. I don't have no heaven and hell to place you in. And what's coming ahead, God is trying to help us as a collective. Because God is saying, if you do not start to take healing seriously, not the healing from 5 years ago, not the healing from 2 years ago, not the healing from last year. not even the healing for 5 months ago. If you don't start taking your healing process seriously, what can happen is that God can take his hands off of you. To his hands off of you, you still will be protected. You always got protection. But just because you're protected doesn't mean that when God take his hands off, that you don't feel. You don't start to feel some things. You don't start to go through some things. You don't start to. And God will do that because God loves us. And when we are weak, when we are prideful, when we need to learn a lesson, when we are out of order or out of alignment, those are the types of things that God does. And in the interim, the situation, how he gave it to me is that he says some of you are distracted. You're looking at other things. You're looking at the news and what you're distracted by what's happening in the world. He said that's human nature. These things are happening. They never happening. But it's too much. When you are so focused on what is happening, you're so focused on the news, you're so focused on what other people are talking about, you're so focused on everything else, but what about getting with God to see what you need to be focused on for your household and for you? You ain't got time to sit down and be still and get a word from God. Where when you don't do that, then all the news, all the everything, all that's created for fear. You start to fear more than you have faith. And when you do that, that means the more fear you have, the lower your vibration gets. You're not thinking about you lowering your vibration. You think you healed and got it all together and everything hot and popping. God got you. I know God got me. But the more news you listening to everybody else, but missing the signs, wonders, and miracles from God and what God has said and what God needs you to do so you and your household can be safe. You and your household can have the things that you need for anything that pop off or jumped off. You'll be ready. You missing all of that because you fine-tuned into what somebody else talking about. You flipping and dipping on that TV about what they talking about and what everybody else is saying, but ain't sat down with God. Don't know what God has for you. Don't know the answers. God trying to give you clarity and understanding about what happened in your past, why it happened. The reason why God said he keep bringing it up is because all of it goes together. What's happening in the world, the timeline jumper, healing, all of it comes together in some type of form. Then God says that for some of you, the timeline jumper, why that keeps coming out is because you're the only one that have made it this far. However, and this healing, these messages keep coming out for healing, for God is wanting to teach you. God is wanting to groom you. God is wanting to open the door for you to be able, not God, for you to be able to take out the timeline jumper yourself. ain't never been done. But God has lined you up. You was never expected. God knows all and see all, but you still have free will. You made it all the way to this point. And you're very, very powerful. You are anointed. You are appointed. That will never change. But where you are, for some of you, where you are right now in this journey, God is trying to teach you something. It's time for you to move forward in a place that few have ever been. In your bloodline, nobody has ever been. But you have to be taught. You have to have a spirit to be able to be teachable. You have to go off that mindset that you're healed and you got everything together and ain't nothing gonna touch you, ain't nothing, which is true. Humbly. Because if God takes his hand off of you, it's a whole nother different story. We can't get to a point where we think that we are all that and we better than God. No, God is the one that's holding everything together. God is the one that's placing this, whoever this is I'm talking to, as it stands, it has always been God that dealt with the timeline jumper. Because the timeline jumper, another revelation God has given me. Because I said, and God has said, that the timeline jumper has jumped in each lifetime, each one of your lifetimes, right? But the timeline jumper is associated with your bloodlines. Hold on. Your bloodline's principality that's the ruler over your bloodline. It is a principality that's the ruler of your bloodline. You are in a position that has never been. You have made it to a point nobody has. That principality that's over this bloodline has tried to take you out so many times, but it's connected to this timeline jumper that keeps coming in lifetime after lifetime. They work together, but ultimately, you're the one that God is wanting to train. God is wanting to teach. God is wanting to elevate to a point that you will take out that principality. You will take out that timeline jumper. I ain't never heard of anything like this. I haven't. And I asked God, I said, well, why, God, why would you do that? The world is changing. Look around you. And as the world change, I have to build my army as such. Humanity is changing. Things are changing drastically. I have to get my army ready by any means necessary. I can't let their army outdo my army. I can't let their army outsmart my army. Just like they elevate, I got to elevate. I got to teach. I got to give power, anointing, a mantle. But I can't give it to people who are not humble. I can't give it to people that does not want to heal and take action and think they got it all together and their head is, they ain't got to a point where they don't want to be honest and acknowledge the healing that needs to go forth. Even from your past, you have to keep healing from that past pain as people keep projecting, as people keep intervening, as people keep coming at you. You constantly have to heal. It's never over. It's never over. We have layer after layer after layer after layer after layer. That's why it's called part of the process of healing is fasting and praying. Fasting and praying is a symbolism of time with God. Time with God. If you have time with God, you don't have to worry about being delusional. God gonna set you straight. God gonna give you clarity. God gonna get you checked. He gonna check you when you out of order. And you're not alone. People like me, the truth tellers, people like me that give these messages, and I got to do more. I got to sit down more with God. I got to come up with a schedule. I got to fast more. I got to do more. Because God has to tell me more. God has to get me right so I can be able to speak into your life. God is taking you, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus to another level. For some of you, you are at the level where you just healing and you're on the right path. But all of you are on different levels. And the ones that I'm speaking to right now, you're going to have to make some personal choices and decisions. Because what's coming at us, things are changing. The energy is changing. Humanity is changing. And if you don't get your mind right and get yourself together and align with the Most High God, you're going to be one of the people who think they got it all together. But when the time comes and the pressure is on and everything is hot and popping, you're going to be on the side of the road. Talking about woulda, coulda, shoulda. When it's time to fight, it's time to get in position. It's time to get ready. You on the side of the road full of fear. Hurt, broke, busted down, and disgusted. Because you did not adhere to the healing, to take action, to release. Because all this is release. As people project, as energy project, as everything's being pushed onto you. Morning, noon, and night. Being able to transmute. Being able to release. Being able to release emotions. Being able to release what you feel. Being able to release people, places, and things. no matter what. Being able to do that takes work. You can't just say, oh, I'm releasing. Oh, I'm just going to let it go. It don't work like that. Releasing and letting go is a process. It's something that actually leaves away from you. Releasing means releasing something that no longer letting it affect you. Honestly letting it go. That's a process. And it's ever changing. As I sit here and I tell you, these people are projecting, these people are doing these things, these people are trying to come back, they want to return, they're desperate, they're doing this, they're constantly, and it's being returned back. But however, it's being returned back, but it still has a remnant of energy. And that remnant of energy, it's your responsibility to release it, to cleanse it, to let it go, to flow, to actually oh Lord, to actually transmute it is what the word I'm trying to say. To actually transmute that energy. It means to take action. It means to acknowledge. You have to get with God, because it's oftentimes things are happening to us and we don't know it. So, but God knows all and God sees all. But God want to have a dialogue with you so you can see what God sees. So you could be able to handle. You could be able to recognize on your own what's happening to you as He teaches you step by step. It's not going, He don't always want you to just say, oh, okay. Because I'm like, God, well, why do you want that? It's because He wants to teach you to be able to stand on your own and be able to know things, because the other side is knowing things. Excuse me. The other side is knowing things. They know it. They're picking up things. They're learning things. And God is wanting to teach you so you can learn. You can elevate. You can do things. Matter of fact, what I'm seeing is God want to teach you so that God speaks one word unto you. You know exactly what you need to do. You follow suit. You do your spiritual warfare. You stand in position. If you don't do nothing but just do like this. God say, lift the hand. You lift the hand, and that hand is so powerful. It'll set thousands back. It's that serious, guys. God want to speak a word to you, but you have to be in tune with God for it to be like that. He speak a word, hand, hit the hand. You hit the hand. You hit the hand in the spirit. He tell you hit the hand physical. Hit the hand. He speaks one word, one sentence. You know exactly what to do. You know exactly what way to do it. You know how. You know how strong. You know how long. He's building his army. But he can't build his army with lazy people that think they got it all together. Think they're healed. Think that they're healed and they got everything and they doing everything. No. No. Do you honestly think Do you honestly think that ops is just going to lay down and just continue to let you win? No. They're building their army. They're learning. They're trying to find ways. They're desperate to find ways to get to you. And God is trying to give you these messages little bit by little bit. That's why I'm saying whether they resonate or not, look at them. God is showing you through these messages, showing you what you need to do. And it may seem so silly. It may seem like it's not real or don't resonate with you. But God will turn everything around and give you the eyesight, give you the dream, give you what you need for things to come in full circle for you. What you need to do, teaching you, elevating you, getting you ready for battle, the ultimate battle. This is very, very deep and very, very important. Because as they change, as they evolve, as they grow, as they get stronger, if you stay the same, thinking that you got it all together, that you finished, that you ain't got no work to do, that you don't have to do nothing, everything is locked in tight, you're going to be sadly mistaken. I couldn't understand it. But each time that I will get another deck, that same energy will come out in the deck. Deck after deck, that same energy. It'd be a different card, but that same energy will come out. Because that's what that is what God is getting ready to train you for. But you need to know. You need to know about it. You need to gain clarity about it. You need to know everything about it. You need to take these readings and put on your spiritual eyes so you can gain everything, all the information that you need about this energy. That's the first thing. And if you need to go and look at those readings 2 and 3 times for you to get it, that's what you need to do. Because this energy is not coming out in these readings just to come out. I have never had that happen to me. Yeah, it'd be the same story, but it'll be a whole different dynamic. It'll be the same energy, but it'll be something but not the same pinpoint energy jumping in each reading. That's a reason. It's a reason that's why that's happening. And it's something that we have to do as a collective. We have to heal. We have to get strong. We have to get with God to get answers. And he's given us clarity. He's given us the resources, but we got to get the rest of it from God. It's not just the timeline jumper and that's it and that's what happened. No. You need to know what was happening, why it was happening, what's going on with it. Where do you stand with it? God, what do you want me to know about this timeline jumping? Now, I got it. I see this. You need to start asking God questions. Detailed questions and getting those answers from God so you can heal. That if God took his hands off of you, if the ancestors took not their protection, if the ancestors took their, stepped back and just watched you, you could stand. You could stand on your own, and you wish they would. That's what they're trying to teach. They're trying to teach you to stand on your own. Because what's coming, we're going to have to all stand on our own, fight, and then fight alongside of our ancestors, alongside of the angels, alongside of them, not them doing all the work to protect us. It's time for us to learn the next level, the next step, the next knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Because we're at a level now that they can't touch us. However, it's time to learn how to stand on our own in battle and get ready for it. In battle. All of us, if you're on this channel, you some type of warrior. You some type of fighter already. In the spiritual realm, your name is known. You're great. You are a fighter. You are well known in the ethers. But here, you got to learn. You got to remember who you are as that one that battles, that spiritual warrior. Because the battle is getting ready to begin. It is the ultimate battle. And we're going to have to fight alongside of them. And we have to be an asset with them. We're already warriors. We already have the tools in there. But they have to be awakened. So, just like with everything else, all the other gifts, they had to be awakened. Now it's time to learn, to fight, to stand. It's time to operate. It's time to open up and allow God to show us our spiritual warrior self, who we are in the spiritual realms as the warrior. We are warriors. We are. That's why we're so protected, because we have protected so many people in the spiritual realm. When we were in the spiritual realm, we were protectors. We've protected so many people, and so now that we're here, they're protecting us. But we are warriors. We are one of them. And God has got to position us to be able to be taught. Sit down somewhere and be taught. Allow God to pour in to us. Take your eyes off of what coulda and what's happening and put your eyes on God. Because what's coming, you have all the tools inside of you to fight just like an angel, just like the archangels, just like your ancestors, spiritual warriors. You have that in you. You have that blood in you. But it has not been awakened, and we have to sit down and get with God. And also, when we get that knowledge, we have to accept it, acknowledge who we are, so we can stand up and fight. Because it's going to take a fight for us to be able to get through what we getting ready to go through. And that's all I got to say about this. That's all I got to say. So, hit the comments. Let a sister know if you accept. Let a sister know if you understand, understand, overstand, whatever stand it is. Because this right here is important. This is the most important message that I have given out. I don't even know if they gonna even the algorithm is even gonna let it go forth. But whoever it reaches, I need you to share it. Get it out there, share it. It needs to get to as many people, because if they don't get the message, don't get an understanding, they're going to constantly keep falling tune into what's happening, what's getting ready to be taken away, how I'm going to live, I lost this, how I'm going to eat. God always provides a way, but you have to tap in. It's according to what you're tapping into. I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to let it go. I hope you get it. I hope you understand it. I'm telling you, this is serious. God ain't playing. I know for me, I'm about to make some changes. I don't know about what you gonna do, but I know what I'm gonna do. And I'm about to make some changes, and I'm about to stand in position so I can elevate, and I can fight with my ancestors and fight with the angels and everybody else that's gonna be fighting. I'm gonna fight. I don't know what you gonna do, but I'm getting ready to allow God to teach me and show me what I need to do and what position I need to be in, so I can learn and so I can awaken more gifts. And there it is. So y'all know what to do. I'm sending love, I'm sending healing your way, and Trinity is